OTK Forms V1 Drama Edition. So I worked a lot harder on this one. As you can see, my PowerPoint has been upgraded. I used fancy graphics. Yeah, it has animations.
Hi, I'm Emmy. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, or I keep popping up in your recommended, please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps out my channel a lot, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome to the OTK Company Survey, Volume 2. I'm your host. I facilitated this. Wait, my glasses. It's a little bit different this time, but it's the same shit. Wait, I don't even remember what slides I put, so this might be a little scuffed. We'll see. Okay, so basically, I already did this once before. I decided to do it again. I made another Google form thing and sent it to all of my OTK friends on Discord. I basically harassed them at night until they responded. I contacted all the 10 members of OTK, and this time, it was actually way easier, I think, because last time, when I made that tier list of how easy it was to get them to reply, it made some of them feel a bit embarrassed. Wait, is the music too quiet? It made some of them a little embarrassed. Everyone replied almost instantly. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about this one. This is all that I had for the reply. This is literally proceeding when I sent him the links. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. So basically, if you didn't see the first one, how it works is, using Google Forms, I would ask a question. All the 10 members of OTK are the options. They pick one, and then when it's all done, it outputs this nice little pie chart where you can see what people picked. And it's all anonymous. So I don't know what Asmon voted for, I don't know who Miz voted for, I don't know who Soda voted for, but sometimes it's kind of easy to guess, which is an interesting part. But this time, I decided to do something a little different. I got some viewers involved. I made 2 forms this time. One for OTK people, and one that I put in a bunch of viewers' chats, or a bunch of streamers' chats, basically. And the questions were pretty much the same, but some of them were a little bit different. For example, basically, I altered some of them, since viewers wouldn't know some of them. I just had them guess, pretty much. So, of the viewer part, almost 4,000 people participated, and I said I was gonna post it in other people's Discords and stuff. I lied. I ended up not doing that. I also said that I was gonna weigh the answers, and I didn't do that. But it's not just because I'm lazy. I weighed a couple of them, and it either basically made no difference, or it just made them stupid. For example, there were 8 people who said they were part of the Tipsout community and then voted for tips on every single answer. So, yeah. Also, I just thought it was more interesting seeing the raw numbers. So basically I didn't weigh them, but maybe if I do this again and it looks good, I'll weigh them. But yeah, so the data is raw and unweighted. It's just straight up numbers, which I thought was kind of better. All right, so anyway, now that I've explained the rules and how this works, it's time to get started. OTK Company Survey V1 Drama Edition. I asked worse questions these times, but nothing too fucked up. Nothing too fucked up. Question 1. Who is the most different off-stream? Who is the most different off-stream? I wonder. Yeah, first, I sent this to the OTK members, and they responded. Miz and Nick both had 3 votes out of 10. And then runner-up, Soda, Asmon, me, and Techie all each had 1 vote. So there were some people who didn't get voted for at all. And I'm not really surprised that Miz and Nick got put here, but I mean, the reality is, no one is that different off stream. It's just some people play up their personality more for stream, you know? I wouldn't say anyone's completely different off stream, personally. Seer, I kind of thought Seer would be here because of his acting stuff, but I mean, that's just part of his personality, I guess. So then I asked the same question to chat. Who would you guess is the most different off stream? So see, I changed it because you guys don't know. So I had you guess. So I tweaked the question a little bit, basically. So here's what chat answered, and I put the numbers here. See, I thought it was better than weighing it. I don't know, maybe it would have been better if it was weighed, but I thought it was more interesting like this. They guessed Miz, Seer, and Nick were the top, and then Emily, and then everyone else didn't have that many votes. Well, I was kind of in the middle. This is out of almost 4,000 votes. You can put the math together if you want. Tips? Okay, so yeah, for a lot of these, the Tipsout community, You know, there weren't a lot of votes, but I mean, for the ones that counted, there were, I mean, you'll see. We're only on question 1 out of 20. Question 2, who would be the most fucked if they didn't make it as a streamer? So the question was like, who would have basically a worse life? Like, who would be struggling the most? Is like what the question was supposed to be. The OTK answer. So half of OTK voted for Soda, probably including Soda himself, and then 2 people voted for Asmon, and then for some reason 1 person voted for Tips. I guess like if Tips didn't have OTK, I don't know, and then 1 for me and 1 for Miz. I don't think I would have been fucked if I didn't make it as a streamer. I think I would have been fine. Miz, he has a college degree. Asmon, okay, I would have maybe voted Asmon, but the thing is, Asmon has told me that if he didn't make it as a streamer, his plan was just to live off food stamps, which sounds fucked, but I mean, to some people, that's the life, you know, just mooching off the government. That's what Asmon wants to do, so. Soda, it's hard to say, because he's been streaming since he was a kid, so it could really be anything. I don't know. All right, now I asked chat the same question. Who'd be the most fucked if they didn't make it as a streamer? And they said, Asmon, Soda, me, and Tectone were the top up there, and I shit you not, 0 votes for Tips on this one. And this is the only time someone had 0 votes on any of the responses. Literally 0. No one, people just knew that Tips would have it made. I mean, Tips is a smart guy, resourceful, you know, he's a family man. He would have had a good life no matter what, probably. Then, you know, Esfand, Emily, Sear, people also were like, yeah, they'd be good. I mean, Sear's obviously a super talented guy. Emily, Ivy League, college student. Esfand probably would have been like a sports coach or something. So yeah, this kind of lined up. I think like the 3-4 most degen people were at the top. And then I think a lot of chatters perceive Miz as like stupid for some reason. And then Nick, maybe they think like he wouldn't be able to function without Milena or something. I don't know. That was my my theory for why they were in the mid-ground. For some reason? Okay, well, let's not talk about that. Alright, question 3. Who would be the best off in life if they didn't make it as a streamer? So like, who would be the most successful in spite of not being a content creator? So, what did OTK vote for? Nick. We thought Nick would be the best off in life if they didn't make it as a streamer. Now, that's not what I voted for. I think I voted for Emily. I would imagine that Nick probably voted for himself here, and then maybe Soda, and then I don't know who the 3rd person would be. I'm pretty sure Miz voted for himself on this one. Sear, Esfand, Tips I can all see. Emily I can see, obviously. Nick, I guess I can see. I was just surprised that he won. But yeah, Nick won, and then Tips and Emily both got 2 votes each. Nick always says he'd work for a rich friend. Oh. I guess he would have had it set then, I guess. So chat, I asked, who would be the best off in life if they didn't make it as a streamer? What do you guys think, people who don't know us or our lives at all except for what we share online? So chat voted for ExtraEmily and Tips. So they had the most votes by far, and then Nick, Sear, and Miz were all up there. Only 34 votes for Tectone out of almost 4,000. So I didn't think this was surprising at all. Like, Emily's obviously very smart, Tips is obviously very smart and business savvy. And then the rest kind of didn't surprise me. This one made sense to me. Question 4. Who has the most toxic chat? So, when I wrote this question, I was kind of thinking that the answers would be kind of like spread out, right? But they weren't at all. OTK votes. Half of OTK voted for Asmon's chat. 3 votes for Soda's chat, which I don't think Soda's chat is toxic at all. But maybe I just don't watch him enough. And then Miz got 2 votes. Yeah, is Soda's chat that bad? I've never seen his chat be toxic, but he got 3 votes. I don't know who the 3 who voted for him would be. It's definitely Asmon's. Yeah, I voted for Asmon. Most toxic chat. I mean, what really matters is the viewers, because they're the ones who actually spend the most time reading all of them, I guess. Alright, I asked who has the most toxic chat. Mizkif! With 1,059 votes. And then Asmon, Nick, Soda, Tectone. I had 200, and then the rest barely got any votes. Sear only got 13 votes, and Emily only got 15. So they have pretty good chats. Wrong? I mean, that's what people voted for. I don't know. That's what the results were. Question 5. Who has the worst hairline? This is just a toxic one, but I had to include it. 5 votes on OTK for Tectone. Half the org, Tectone. And see, every time this is brought up, Tectone tries to be like, my hairline's not bad, I just shave my head. That doesn't make it go away. Like, we can still see it. Just because you shave your head doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And then Asmon got 3 votes, Nick 1, and Tips 1. Which, I don't know how you could say that theirs are worse than Asmon's or Techie's. I really don't know. Makes no sense to me. But yeah, that's what it was. Chat, who has the worst hairline? I asked again. 1,456 votes for Asmon, and over 1,000 also for Tectone. And then Miz and Nick, 400 votes each. Me, which is just, I know that's just my chat trying to piss me off. That should not even be there. And then, oh wait, I forgot. I said earlier that there were no other 0 votes. Soda and Seer both got 0 votes out of 4,000 people. Literally no one voted them for worst hairline. That just pisses me off. I mean, they both do have really good hairlines. And then Esfand had 6, so his is also pretty good. Emily had 12. The rest of us, I guess we need to do something about it. It is what it is, I guess. Question 6. Who has the best car? Wait, I should change the music. I've already seen these, so, well, I made the PowerPoint, so. Oh, you guys are about to be pissed. I have the best car with 4 votes, and Nick has the second best car with 3 votes. Soda 10, Miz 10, and Tectone 10, and you know what? I'm willing to bet that Soda, Miz, and Tectone all voted for themselves. And you know why? Because I voted for myself. That's how I know. But I won. Rigged? It's not rigged. Shit taste. Okay, well, you can say that about, you know, OTK members, whatever. That's fine. You know, maybe your opinion will change after you see what the results were of me asking chat. Wait, hold on. Me asking chat who has the best car. Oh my god, it feels so good. 1,462 votes for my Corvette. 864 votes for the R8. 839 votes for the Porsche. 342 votes for the GTR. 148 votes for the Mustang. 56 votes for, I think Ciro's an Audi too. I don't know what model though. Emily has a Tesla. Tectone has an SUV Escalade. I don't know. I don't know what Tips drives in Esfand's car. It's a trash mover. The back seat's just full of stuff, so that makes sense, I guess.
9 months, wow. Hey,
Modded? It's not.
How are you?
I can show you the actual
Love.
document if you don't believe me, but this is what it was. This is what it was. Bad? People get very upset about cars.
Corvette go room.
Vroom vroom, bitch. So yeah, basically confirmed I have the best car. Bad. Anyway, moving on. Question 7. Who has the worst car? It's not. Shut up. 7 votes for Asmongold. Which, I don't think he objectively has the worst car, like, the worst model. But he told a story on Steak and Eggs about, like, he, like, threw up in the back seat or something, and it's still there. So, I would assume that's a hefty part of why it is that way. Nick, 2 votes. Seer, 1 vote. I don't know why. Seer's car's nice. I assume the Nick votes were out of spite or something. I don't know. But yeah, 2 people in OTK said Nick has the worst car. Very interesting stuff. Now I asked chat, who has the worst car? They said, Asmon and Nick. So same as OTK, but pretty much everyone got some votes. Miz got more votes. Hey, but I was pretty low on there for worst car. Just saying. I was pretty low on there, but we did all get some votes. I was surprised 253 for the Tesla. Do people not fuck with Teslas? We don't fuck with the Teslas? Alright, understandable, I guess. Next question. Who is the worst with money? Now, there's 2 types of people in OTK. So we pretty much all do sponsors, right? There's the people who, you know, they have a lot of people that work for them. They buy a lot of stuff. And there's the people who make a ton of money, but never spend any of it, even for things that would improve their quality of life. It really only goes one way or the other. So, 4 votes for Miz, 3 for Esfand, and then 1 vote each for Seer, Tips, and Soda. Now, I'm not really sure why Tips and Seer got votes, because I haven't really seen either of them throw money around at all. Yeah, Tectone wasn't voted for at all, which I was surprised about. But you have to keep in mind that, you know, people have known each other for a long time and also see things off stream that maybe viewers do not see. Maybe. I don't know. I will say, though, I voted for Esfand, and I will not elaborate on why, but I voted for Esfand, and I would assume that Miz got votes because of his boxes. I don't know. And then Soda maybe because he does things like has cars that he doesn't drive. I don't know. The backpack, that's actually not why. Now, I asked chat, who do you think is the worst with money? Because I said you think, because you don't know. You just have to guess based off of what you see. So, Tectone got 1,497 votes, and Miz was pretty close with 1,350 votes. And then everyone else was kind of just trickling in. It wasn't even close. Not badass. Well, I would assume that this probably has something to do with, you know, jokes being made about loans that are owed to people. With both of these people. Massive loans from both of these people. Typically taking huge loans, unless it's like a business move, is not a great sign. So I would assume that's where this comes from, I guess. Yeah, boxes and Genshin, that as well. Okay, moving on. Who is the biggest sellout? Now, I would say that most of us are sellouts, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you're not selling out for things that are shitty or things that, you know, you don't personally stand by. Like, for example, I think selling out for, like, crypto or something is kind of cringe. OTK votes. Who is the biggest sellout? Half of the org voted for Miz. And 3 voted for Tectone, and then me and Nick each had 1 vote. Which makes sense, because the 4 of us probably do the most sponsors. I mean, me and Miz even got into some trouble for a certain sponsor. That, didn't happen. So, you know, it didn't happen, so. And then Tectone just does a lot, and then Nick. I don't think Nick's that much of a sellout. Nick does, sponsors, but they're very select sponsors, you know. Yeah, I wasn't that surprised by these results. But I asked chat's opinion, because we don't all watch each other's streams. But I mean, chat would see who does the most sponsors. Chatters, who's the biggest sellout? Mizkif, Emiru, Tectone. Yep, no surprise. But I mean, Miz won by over double the next person, me. Which, I mean, it is what it is. It makes sense, I guess. And then at the bottom, you have Seer, Asmon, Emily, Soda. They all don't do a ton of sponsors. And when they do, it's pretty sparingly. Asmon has kind of gone out of his way. He kind of doesn't really do sponsors on purpose. I was surprised that Tips is up here, I guess because Tips, like, you know, does the business side of things. People just assumed he'd be a sellout. The Tipsout community coming out to call out Tips for his, money-hungry ways. The day was coming. Alright, number 10. Who is the worst at replying to their DMs? So this is all from first-hand experience, since we've all messaged each other multiple times at one point or another. With 4 votes, we have Asmongold, apparently the worst at replying to DMs. Then 2 votes each, Miz, Esfand, and Seer all apparently suck at replying to their DMs. Which, I just want to point out that me and Emily aren't there. We're both very good at replying to our shit. It is what it is. But yeah, these 4 all have times where they're not the best at it. Sure, dude, I'm good at replying to DMs from OTK people. I won't talk about my unread messages or my unread texts. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So I asked chat, I tweaked the question a little since obviously you wouldn't know, or at least I think you wouldn't know. Who would you guess is the worst at replying to their DMs? I asked the chat room. they guessed Esfand 1,255, which honestly is my fault because last survey I kind of complained a lot about how long it took him to do it. So that's kind of my bad. But it did take a long fucking time. But I do want to say this time, he was like the first or second person to do it. And then Asmon, Soda, Miz, and me were all kind of up there too. And then Tips is good at responding to his shit. He's just I guess he's just a busy guy, you know? I get it. What the fuck is this? Esfand is my brother from another mother. Nothing could ever separate us. I hope if I hang out with Esfand long enough, my hair will grow long and beautiful like his. Yeah. That's kind of weird. Something's wrong with you. Wait, did fucking Miz write that? That's crazy. Wow. Talk about parasocial. Someone needs to help him. Wait, that's parasocial to say. Someone needs to not help him and just leave him alone and not worry about what's going on in his life. Anyway. 11. Who has the worst takes? So, I thought that only 2 people would really get votes on this one. I was wrong. But I was barely wrong. Tectone, half the org voted for him. 5 members of OTK. Asmon got 4 votes. And Esfand got 1. Now, I don't know who has beef with Esfand and his takes, but they must have pretty strong beef to vote for him over Tectone and Asmon because that is crazy. That is actually crazy. That's gotta be you. It was not me. I voted. No, I'm not saying who I voted for. I would have voted for either of them though, honestly. Alright, so I asked chat, who has the worst takes? Tectone, 1,725 votes. Almost half the people who responded to the survey voted for Tectone. And then up there are Asmon, Miz, and Nick. And everyone else kind of, whatever, under 100. Basically non-existent, you know? 61 people think I have the worst takes. Fucking idiots. I've never said a bad take in my life. The trick is if you just never say your opinion, people will assume you have the same opinion. And then you're just fine. They just assume that your opinions are good. That makes sense. Yes, on the fence! No. Well, yeah, Tectone's got the bad takes. Number 12. Who has the worst Twitter account? Ew. I know people are not saying me. Hello? What the fuck is that? So, the org voted for Tips. Now, my theory for this is that it's because he has the smallest Twitter account and all these people care about is clout. So they were like, least clout, worst account. I think that's why. So Tips got 4, Soda got 2, and then Nick, Miz, Tectone, and Esfand all got 1 vote. I'm not there, so Okay, so now I asked Twitch chat, who has the worst Twitter account? Chat voted for Tectone. I assume because his account is all anime and baiting. Anime baiting. Then Soda. Soda does have a very interesting Twitter account. If you scroll for like 2 seconds, you can probably find a tweet about cum. So yeah. Miz, Nick, Tips, Asmon are all up there. I can't believe I got 148 votes. Like, pfft, my Twitter account is fantastic, okay? Even though I only tweet once every 3 months. Surely. It's true. I would be willing to go as far as to say, I have the best Twitter account because mine's like, it's just art, okay? I don't tweet stupid shit like, I'm going live, watch me please. I'm kidding, Jesus Christ. Your Twitter is an Instagram? Yeah, that's pretty true. Anyway, 13. Who is most likely to leak an announcement? Alright, so Tectone and Emily tied for this one. I'm most likely to leak an announcement with 3 votes each. I assume that Emily got voted because of the build-up to her announcement. Now, I'm not sure why Tectone's here. Maybe there's some lore that I'm forgetting. And then Miz got 2 votes, and me and Esfand each got 1. Oh yeah, he leaked his sponsor pay. Heck, he just says too much. Okay, well, that's not an announcement, you know. Maybe he wanted people to know how much he got paid for playing Lost Ark. So I asked the same question to chat, as I have been this entire fucking presentation. Who is most likely to leak an announcement? ExtraEmily, me, Tectone, Miz are the ones who got a lot of votes. Now, why am I up there with 832 votes? LA, okay, well, that's different! That's different! That's literally different. Because you don't think of, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah, that's pretty true. Because girls don't shut the fuck up. And yet you're here. Run your mouth in my chat while I'm here trying to be educational and have this presentation. Moving on. Who would you give the aux to? So there was some confusion about this question amongst the boomer community. They were like, what does this mean? I'm not gonna say who or whose chat. That means who would you want to play music in the car? So whose music taste do you trust the most? Basically. So, Seer got 4 votes. I think that's not a surprise. Seer is known to be a connoisseur of media and all things cool. Me and Emily both got 2 votes as well. And then Tectone got 1 vote and Esfand got 1. Now, Tectone would just play weeb music, so I'm not sure who would vote for that besides Tectone himself, which is possible. But that was the only question that I really had about this slide. Yeah. Now I asked chat, who would you give the aux to? Now, I just want to say we all know that I have impeccable music taste, you know, playing the same 20 songs in my long-ass intro every day. And they're just wonderful, you know. Some Cave Town, some Bass Hunter. every day that I stream. Don't be so sensitive about it, okay? Jesus, relax. And look at that. Me, Seer, and Miz for second, third. I got almost 1,000 votes, and then Emily, Soda, Esfand, Nick were up there. Sadly, not a lot of people wanted to listen to the anime bangers. Tectone got 119 votes. Tips got 69. I win. Ego? How is it ego if other people voted for it? Well, cause my ego is going up now. Look, I just listen to a lot of music on TikTok. So clearly, I know all the best bangers, okay? Where else do you get music from but TikTok these days? Gross. Chill. Jesus. Anyway, moving on. Question number 15. Who has the worst style? So in the first presentation like this I did, I asked who has the best style, and Seer won, but I never asked who has the worst style. So this should have probably been in volume 1, but I'm doing it now. Better late than never. Asmongold with 7 out of 10 votes, and then Nick, Miz, and Tectone all with 1 vote. Now, wait, that's not Tectone. Wait, that's not Tectone. I made this slide at like 4 in the morning, so I'm sorry. I thought Esfand was Tectone. I won't fuck it up again. But I mean, I feel like besides Seer, every guy plus me in the org kind of just wears like shorts or sweatpants plus a t-shirt or tank top. Like, what else do you really need? I don't know. What's wrong with that? Wait, what did Nick say? I dress like Drake, what the fuck? Yeah, you do dress like Drake, Nick. You know, I had an idea for a stream. I wanted to give Seer like $1,000 or something and let him use it to pick out clothes for me and then just like see if I can pull it off. Seer's style. I think that'd be fun to do like with a group of people. Maybe me and Nick could do that together if he's down. The Seer fashion show. Alright, so what really matters, of course, is the chat's opinion. Who has the worst style? You frickin' fricks. So, it was the same as the OTK one. Asmon in the lead by far. Techie, Miz, Nick, and then everyone else kind of just there. Seer did get 34 votes though. I mean, out of almost 4,000, but still, I don't know how you can do that. It just ain't right. I just want to remind people that on the hairline question, Seer and Soda both got 0 fucking votes. Which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. 34 jealous Omegalol? Actually, probably true. Question 16. Who do you go to for advice / who gives the best advice? I've only gone to advice from... Actually, I think I've gone to almost everyone in OTK for advice at one point or another. And I would say that everyone's like good at it. Like everyone's, you know, good at being a friend and gives reasonable advice when needed. So I wouldn't say anyone's like bad at this, honestly. So Nick and Tips got the most votes, 3 each. And then Tectone got 2 votes. And then Miz and Asmon each got 1 for best advice within OTK. So the one that I voted for was, I voted for Tips, because I feel like Tips has got his head on pretty good. You know, he's a dad. You know, he's a very reliable, smart person. And then Nick's up there too. I've also asked Nick for advice, and it was good. It was good. Iz voted for himself. Okay, we're gonna talk about that later, but anyway. So, yes, the question for the parasocials everywhere. I had to tweak this question. Who do you think you would go to advice / who has the best advice? So, you know, a little bit of a parasocial question, but it's a hypothetical. So it's not that serious. Nobody literally... I think it's... I did notice on the forum that not everyone who submitted answered every question. So maybe some people skipped this question. I didn't check for this one specifically. So this one was surprisingly spread out. Tips was at the top. Unsurprisingly, I think most people perceive Tips as like the smart one. Asmon and Nick were up there. Votes in the 600s. And Miz, Esfand, and steered about the same. Very, very few people said they would ask Soda for advice. Maybe he just comes across as the least, you know, the least mature or something, perhaps. I wonder why. Yeah, I don't know. He literally can't boil water. What? There's no fucking way. Getting advice? Dude, it was hypothetical. Okay, maybe that's why a lot of people voted for Tips. But I also voted for Tips. Nah, I'm a streamer. Okay, well here's the thing. Like, a lot of the time, when I ask for advice from people in OTK, it's stuff related to streaming. So it is advice that you would ask a streamer for. I don't ask them like, hey, you know, what do I do for... You know, like, I don't ask them these, like, super, super personal questions. I just don't. If I need mom advice, I'd ask Seer. Yeah, maybe that's why Seer's, the mid-range. Question 17. So what did OTK answer? Asmon got the most votes, with 3 out of 10 members voting for him. And then so did Miz and Esfand, all got 2 votes each. And Tectone got 1. I think these are all pretty self-explanatory, although honestly, I don't know why Esfand's there. I feel like Esfand could be a pretty good dad. You know, he wanted to be a football coach? So he's probably pretty good with kids. The rest though, I mean, I get it. Honestly, I guess. Not with HDMI. No, I think people with HDMI can still be good parents. You might just have to be more aware. But they can still be good parents for sure. I think that's a bit unfair to say that they can't. Like, it might be harder, but a lot of things in life are harder. Anyway, I asked chat as well, who would be the worst parent? And there it is. Okay, first off, I want to point out, 4 people voted for Tips, and he's the only actual parent on this list. So first of all, how fucking dare you? Although those 4 votes were probably what I talked about before, the Tipsout community, there were a couple people who voted Tips for every single answer, since I said I was gonna weigh them. Seer also has... No, he does not. What are you talking about? I feel like I'm being gaslighted. Seer has 3 kids? No, he does not. What are you talking about? He is pregnant? Oh, okay. Okay. Seer's got many kids. I guess you would know because your mother gave birth to them. Emmy, you have 8 kids. No, I do not. What are you talking about? I'm literally Seer's child. Oh shit. Well, we have first person account in chat. I guess I have to fold. You were right, I was wrong. My bad. Also, how did I get rated as a worse parent than actually... No, actually this makes sense. Never mind. I was about to get mad, but no, this makes sense. I'm just glad I wasn't a worse parent than like Tectone, you know? Anyway. Question 18. Who is the most quote-unquote out of touch? So, who is the least, there's a bunch of different ways to describe out of touch. Streamers out of touch. Say it ain't so. Streamers being out of touch? There's no fucking way. What? Who would say such a thing? There's no such thing as a streamer in touch? I would disagree. I would disagree. But I think in OTK most people are out of touch. I am Tectone, Jesus Christ. I know you ain't saying that of all people. Alright, so here it is. With 3 votes each, Miz and Soda were the most out of touch, and Asmon had 2 votes. And then Esfand had 1, and Tips had 1. I don't think Tips is out of touch at all. I think he's probably the most in touch of all of us. Maybe? Like, I wouldn't say Tips is more out of touch than, like, Tectone, for example. How is Miz? It's funny because, while I was working on this slide, he actually saw it, and he started yelling. He was like, how am I there? And I was like, I just started laughing because I didn't know what to say. Okay, so now I asked chat, and obviously this is also based off of what chat perceives because you don't actually know us, even if you think you knew. I asked, who do you think is the most out of touch? Asmon, Soda, Nick, Miz, Tectone. Top 5 right there. Asmon had over 1,000. And then, you know, Tips, me, Emily, Esfand, Seer, we're chilling at the bottom. Okay? We're not that out of touch. Seer is the most in touch, which honestly I can see. Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe Seer is more in touch than Tips. Because Seer touches the most grass. Seer goes out a lot. He has a lot of friends who aren't streamers. You know, he goes to parties, to bars, he hangs out with people, he lives life. He probably does the most grass touching, compared to the top 4 combined. I would say that for sure. He hangs out with our moms, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's more to being in touch than leaving the house and touching grass. That's just one part of it. Question 19. Who do you think you would have be most likely to still become friends with if Twitch never existed? So, I'm not saying that streamer friendships are, fake or anything, right? But it's the same as, like, a lot of friendships at work and school where it's like you meet because of common, you know, you're doing the same thing at the same time, basically. It's like the proximity rule or whatever the fuck it's called. So this question's like, if you weren't streamers, you just met in real daily life, who would you probably have been friends with? And it could be multiple people, but it's most likely. So, this one was pretty spread out. Nick, me, somehow, and Esfand all got 2 votes. And then Tips, Seer, Miz, and Tectone all got 1 vote. Now, I know of at least 1 person on this who voted for themselves, which makes no fucking sense. Because at least on, like, a question like who has the best car, you can think you have the best car, right? You can't think I would have been most likely to be friends with myself. So I was a little annoyed by that, but you know, at least 1 person did vote for themselves. I'm not gonna say who, but I know someone did. It wasn't Tectone. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know for sure that he did or not. Anyway, now for the most parasocial question, I asked chat on this entire form, if Twitch didn't exist and none of these people were streamers, who do you think you would have been most likely to have become friends with? So like, say you worked at the same place as all of us or something. Yeah, the most fucking parasocial question ever fucking asked of all time. Like, actually kind of fucked up. This one's also pretty spread out. And surprise, surprise. Wow, I wonder why me, Miz, Nick are all up there. Miz had the most votes, and then me. And then Nick, Esfand, Soda. Tips, 36. The rest, like, you know, everyone was kind of up there. The distribution isn't that crazy. But, Tips, not a lot of people were like, Tips would be my best friend. Kind of fucked up, honestly. Only 24, or 36 out of almost 4,000. Oh man, I love these presentations. It's so fun sharing them, but sadly, we're on the last question. Now, I thought this was the perfect way to end this off. Question 20. Who is the most likely to have voted for themselves on this form? Now, I will say that the answers surprised me because it is not who I voted for. I think I was a little biased though from the last one. 6 out of 10 of the OTK members voted for Miz. And then Nick, Asmon, Esfand, and Tectone all got 1 each. And you know what's funny? I'm pretty sure Miz did vote for himself on this one. Which brings up what I was gonna mention before, but I didn't want to mention until the end. So after I sent this presentation to Miz, I was in proximity while he was doing it. I wasn't like watching what he answered or anything. But he turned to me and he said, I feel like most of these answers are just me. Like, it's obviously me. Like, I'm voting for myself because it's obviously me. Even on ones, he like wasn't even remotely close to winning. So, I mean, I guess this checks out, but it's not who I thought would win when I made this form anyway. I was the first person to fill it out since I made it, obviously. I asked chat too. Who is most likely to have voted for themselves on this forum? And this chart was by far the worst of all of them. By far the worst. So I just want to say congrats to Miz for being the only person to break 2,000 votes on the viewer portion. Almost reaching the 3,000 mark. Isn't that crazy? So, I mean, if it's true though, is it really a roast? New record. Alright, so we're through all the questions. It's time for the conclusion. So this has been OTK Forms V2 Drama Edition. So basically, I realized Twitch chat is a bunch of bitches, and y'all will just vote for whatever the streamers say. You won't think for yourself, because you're a freaking hive mind. I'm really questioning if you're even real, still to this day. And, most voted for was Miz! But he did vote for himself on at least a decent number of them. But at least he was honest about it. Thank you for watching and participating. I really enjoyed doing these. So, I think it was Jeff who had the idea. The next time I do this, Jeff thought I should send the survey to the employees of OTK and Starforge and have them answer it next time. So I might do that. That would be very interesting. That's the end. 92 slides. I did spend 45 minutes on this before the stream started. So, yeah.